last year, Jill and Joe Biden on National Women's Day, they gave out 3 awards, and all 3 of them were to transgender females.
Cool.
What the fuck? What about real women? They're not getting it?
Kim Kardashian won Man of the Year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
she did.
Well, look at fucking what Caitlyn Jenner. The first year,
Caitlyn. That's the one story I don't give a shit about. I am so against. You cannot kill 3 people and then transition and go, I'm so proud of you. I don't give a shit.
Caitlyn
you should
Jenner,
be sitting in jail.
Caitlyn Jenner.
I think she's just a garbage human in general, despite the transition.
Right, like she should be in jail. She's just a kid.
So Caitlyn Jenner, the first year that Bruce Jenner transitioned, won Woman of the Year. What? Have you ever had did you give birth to a child? Did you have to breastfeed kids? Did you have any miscarriage? Did you go through any of that?
That shouldn't identify what a woman is.
No, not about what a woman is. I'm talking about the struggles of a woman. Who the fuck deserves Woman of the Year more? My mother, who had 8 kids and looked after them and raised them all very well, or some fucking celebrity who grew his fucking hair out and got a boob job, and automatically the following year he wins the award? Fuck that. That's not fair. Everyone knows that. How is he entitled to win Woman of the Year? What the fuck did he do? He's been a woman for what, 6 months?
Yeah, I don't think that she was reasonable. Like, I don't think she was a good choice for.
But even the one for the last year, that the one I just told you, that Jill and fucking Joe Biden, they came to the White House, and there was millions of women who are online on Twitter who are fucking pissed. They're like, what the fuck? I'm a real woman. Like, I've gone through menopause and shit. I've had fucking 8 kids and 3 grandchildren. I've had 2 miscarriages. I lost a child. I breastfed. I'm a woman. And this fucking person comes along and decides in their 60s to go and just to grow their hair out, and now they're considered to be a woman. It's bullshit, because now all of a sudden, being a woman and the struggles that a woman has, a biological woman, means nothing. What matters more is the struggle of this guy who's became a girl. His struggles are way more, or her struggles. No, they're not. That's all bullshit. That struggle he put upon himself. No one told him to transition. It's a choice he made. If you're born a woman, you're biological, and you stick with that, and you go through your life with the ups and downs, and you fought through it all, and you survived, fuck, you should get a medal for that. But someone who decided in their 60s, I'm just going to become a woman now, and because I decide to, I'm brave. And it's women who are the ones who are causing this. They're giving these people high fives and hugs, and you're so brave, and let me help you with your makeup, and I'll teach you about this and that. What the fuck? On the other side with men, I'm sorry, men are not as accepting when there's a transgender male. They're not going to give him fucking high fives and hugs and say you're brave.
Well, no, but that's systematically because men aren't taught to like show emotion in that way.
No.
Yeah.
That doesn't do about showing emotion.
Congratulations. It's not giving them a high five and like making them feel welcome and comforting.
Because they don't. No, but because they don't feel that. They don't feel like you've done anything brave. Most men are not like, oh my God, wow, you had a vagina before, now you're getting a penis installed. You're really brave. You got your boobs chopped off. You're brave. They don't look at it that way, most men. Women do, because women are all based on fucking emotion, feelings, all feelings, not logic.
We run with our heart, men run with their head.
That's true, actually.
Depending on which head.
Well, yes, yeah. Well, I didn't want to specify. I was going to leave it to
I hope I'm not coming down too hard on you on the stuff that I'm saying. It's good to have these discussions, but
no, like I don't.
We weren't even going to talk about this, but
so I went to school. Like I was a philosophy student, so like I'm open to discussion and debate,
which is great.
Like,
I love that.
So when you're like, yeah, I have stats, I'm like, cool, okay, you've got stats. Let's.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we talked about this in the last podcast where I said, if I was to be driving right now in my car, and somebody cut me off, and I got really fucking pissed. I was like, fuck this asshole. Then I went for him, slammed on my brakes, and you fucking piece of shit. Because I feel like he purposely did it.
Mm-hmm.
He pissed me off. But my feelings aren't facts. He doesn't even fucking know me.
Yeah.
Maybe he dropped his phone. Maybe he's on the way to the hospital to see his wife who's fucking battling cancer and he's stressed out. But I believe that what I feel is factual, so I'm going to act on it. No, feelings are not facts. That is the biggest problem when it comes to people who are suffering with any kind of a mental disorder. They believe that their feelings. We had a guest here last time. We talked about borderline personality disorder. They truly believe, people, even bipolar people, even people who are narcissists, they truly believe that their feelings are facts. No, Your feelings are not facts. And you have to realize that very often what you're feeling is not factual. It's all internal. And you have to rationalize. You got to talk it out and then make sense of it. Because if you go on the impulse that my feelings are facts, most of the time you're wrong. Especially if at that time you're feeling anger and rage or disappointment or you're depressed. No, your feelings are fucked. So that means that they're not factual. Please don't make any decisions. Don't do anything impulsive at that moment because most likely it's going to be wrong. So I feel this, I'm not saying all. I do believe that there are some people who are not necessarily in the right body. But I do not believe that all of these, all of a sudden now, it's a fucking new trend. How many transitions were going on 10 years ago compared to today? Because they've opened the door for it.
Yeah. So it has become, gender affirming care has definitely become more accessible.
And now, Nikki, how many people are reversing it? The numbers are through the roof, and they're hiding those numbers.
So there are people that are reversing it.
A lot, and the numbers
totally
are
fair.
increasing drastically from people who did this 10 years ago or 15 years ago or 8 years ago, and they're realizing I made a mistake and that I should have maybe gone to see a doctor a little bit longer, or maybe I should have grown out of whatever it is that I was feeling, or my fucking parents could have maybe hugged me and said, hey, you're going through puberty or whatever you're going through, I love you. Not right away after a 15-minute consultation went with what the doctor said. So these doctors are not psychologists. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. If
They
you
should be going to see psychologists.
fucking
and
right is what I'm
counselors.
trying to say. I believe that
Mental health is like, so in my opinion, and based off of a lot of things that I have read, the idea of identifying as a different gender is, as you've said, something that you feel. It is something within your brain, and therefore should be discussed with someone who does that for a living.
I agree. I truly believe, and people might think I'm crazy to say this, but I truly believe that if people were to get married, I believe that they should make it a rule that before you get married, you go for counseling, couple counseling, and they have to go for at least 3, 4, 5 sessions. I believe even after marriage, it should be mandatory. You have to go for 2 or 3. I believe that's going to strengthen the relationship.
Honestly, I think they actually do that in the Jewish religion. I could
They
be
do it
mistaken.
in Catholic as well.
Yeah, but I agree with that because
But
I'm
it's
not.
run by a priest, so like,
But like,
I don't know about that. Yeah.
yeah,
So
but in
I
some
think
sort
you
of
need.
sanction, honestly, that would have like. Obviously, our marriage got off to a rocky start because of like we've discussed my disorders and everything. But if we had the opportunity to sit down in an environment and work together where we had somebody third partying us, so to speak, maybe my husband and I wouldn't have been off to a rocky start right away. We wouldn't have had to have all our trials and tribulations as hard.
Second thing that I truly believe, and again, people think I'm crazy, if any couple files for divorce, it should be mandatory before the matter gets taken to family court that they go for counseling. Any couple, that it should be paid counseling by the fucking government where they go in for 3 or 4 couple sessions, because very often the stuff can be resolved. But why is it not done? The family court business is a multi-billion-dollar business. They make money from people breaking up. The whole entire system works on it. So if they were to offer, like if the country really gave a fuck about its people, right? If the Canadian government really cared about its citizens and they were concerned about making sure that they're offering them the best possible lifestyle that's available and making sure that they're giving them support where it's most needed. So the divorce rate's over 50%, okay, in Canada, which is a fucking shit show. So there are broken fucking families everywhere. Everyone knows someone in your own family, if not your immediate family or sister or cousin, brother, they're divorced. And when they went through a divorce, some of them were very ugly. And the kids were used as fucking pawns. And it was a money thing. And who benefited from all of it? The family court system, lawyers, judges, court clerks, all of that. They benefit ton. The government benefits when it comes to taxes. Now they got 2 families to tax instead of 1. There's so much shit that goes on there. So if they actually cared about these people, about their citizens, they would be focused on, you know what are some of the key moments in people's lives? Number one of the biggest things is getting married, right? So if you get married, now you're going to be joining your life with another individual. It's a huge fucking step. Are you making the right decision? Let them go talk it out. Have a professional marriage counselor sit down with them for 3-4 sessions and maybe 1 session each individually. Then when they have children, have something that's available as well too for that as well.
Say, I personally think that there needs to be some sort of counseling to be had before and after people have children.
I totally agree.
And
to help identify
Yeah.
whether or not you're actually ready to be a parent.
Listen, they are far more strict when it comes to you adopting a fucking dog
Yeah.
than having a child.
Yeah.
All right, let's not bring up the dogs.
No,
Oh, I
no,
love
but
dogs.
it's true
No,
though.
they're great. But like,
No, at the SPCA, when you want to get a pet, like in some places they come to your fucking house.
yeah, that you have to prove that you are like
Yeah.
a stable house
What the
with a stable
but
income.
but a crack
and all of that
whore,
stuff.
a crack whore and a fucking junkie can have a child.
They
That's-
can foster. It's different with adoption. Like they do. It's like a brief overview check. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty basic, but they foster. It's not necessarily like adopting, but when you actually go to adopt a child, it's really hard in Canada. Like when I worked within the church at MBUC as a child and youth worker, there was a lady there, sweet lady. She worked at a law firm. She was a single female. She never smoked, drank, went to church every Sunday, paid all their bills. She was on a waiting list to adopt for almost 10 years in Canada. She went to China. Within 6 months, she had 2 baby girls. She came back, and that's when I started working with her because her daughter was starting to, obviously she knew she was adopted, but she was starting to ask questions about, where did I come from? Who was my mom? And she had just found out like her mom was a prostitute. So she was struggling. So that's why her mom brought me in as a child and youth worker. And we were working together. And it's kind of like Canada's a little bit different when it comes to the adoption process. They actually are a little bit more legitimate. When it comes to the foster care process, it's a lot more lenient.
No, but you have to
I think
understand
what we're
something.
saying is that like for someone to have a biological child.
But keep in mind the reason that the adoption process, the reason it's so much more difficult because it's huge money to adopt a child. It's a moneymaker. It's a fucking business. A lot of the countries, the poorer countries, the women are like just basically like mills. They just have it's a baby mill. She'll have a child after a child and put up for adoption and make money off of it. That's a different thing. I'm talking about, and what Nikki's saying as well is, and Melissa's eating New York fries,
Buttered
is
chicken.
They smell delicious.
so my thing is that some of the, I believe that in life you go through phases, right? So, once you get to the phase of you want to get married, right? I feel that is a very, very big step. So I think that there should be some sort of assistance there, and not just by a priest or a rabbi or an imam. I believe that there should be someone who's qualified, who's a marriage counselor, who can actually talk to them and be able to kind of give them, sound advice and let them know, their assessment. Are you two compatible? Do I think you're mature enough, or maybe you should wait longer or whatever, right? And then it's up to them after that. From there, if they have a child, I truly believe that before someone decides to have a child, they should have a fucking sit down with someone and an assessment. And I'm not saying that we can pass a law that, oh, well, if you fail this, you can't have a child. No, but at least plant the seed in that fucking person's head that, you know what, maturity wise or financially or whatever, you're not ready.
Yeah.
So
And,
my
like, that's
profession,
totally cool.
yeah.
But
And
if they're going to say like financially you're not ready, then the government should also have resources to be able to provide them to be able to make themselves ready. What
Yeah,
is
the government-
another ball game? And
Listen,
it's
our government can't even fix a fucking road on time.
but they can
like-
put in bike lanes.
Yeah. So to expect them now to be able to give money, then they're just going to tax us more. But I do believe that an assessment should be done. And then from there, it's up to them. So it's like getting a report card.
Well, if that was the case, Fiona probably would have been able to stop at 1 kid, not 5.
There you go.